you know what's funny is we've all been using funnels for years. You know, were developed all the way back in like the 70s and 80s with postcards. Like it's something that all of us think want try to deliver to our customers or clients. What's interesting is lately the introduction of automated bidding, automated targeting has kind of put an upset in that sequence where it's like, okay, we have our cold traffic. These are people that never heard about us, and we're going to show them this ad. And then the people that, you know, have seen those ads, engaged those ads, we're going to start to show them this ad. And this ad here is going to be maybe like UGC, or it's going to be something that is going to be more focused on testimonials, like earning their trust and telling the story. And then we're going to start to show them like an incentive, maybe like a first-time buyer discount or first-time subscriber discount, whatever it may be. That funnel has sort of been relinquished from both the traffic and creative perspective when the algorithms sort of take over. And what you think may be happening inside of your Meta account or inside of your Google account is potentially now just stripped from you and taken from you. That control has been now delivered through the algorithms to show you the best possible ROAS. And that's where measurement is a huge component of this, is the measurement of what we believe our funnel to be working is sometimes disconnected from what we think the strategy was delivered. And so that's what's really kind of upsetting. And that's where I think that people really start to break down and teams start to break down internal, whether you're an internal team at a business, internal team at an agency, traffic and creative now have this divide driven between them because of the platform's way to deliver what they believe to be the best performance and or ROAS. And it stops scale. You know, it stops the growth. You know, the number one problem that agencies and that businesses have today is, well, I can't scale. You know, things aren't going the way that I want them to. I try to add in budget and it doesn't really come to fruition. I'm not really making any more money. I'm kind of spending more money. And the behind the scenes, the black box that is actually taking over at that point in order to deliver what the advertiser wants is more self-learning and figuring out what to do with that ad spend rather than delivering on the strategy that you're trying to impose upon it. And I'm sure that, Lauren, you've probably seen this where, you know, being from the creative agency side, you're probably delivering amazing creative that maybe if you're not the one driving the traffic, like, you know, you're sometimes maybe blamed for it. Like, hey, it's not working. Your creative isn't working. Things are going in the right direction. And probably something you probably experienced, right?
Literally all the time. It's always my fault that it's not working. It has nothing to do with anything else.
Yeah. Your creative must be bad. That's, you know, what's funny is my history is my background has always been in traffic, and that's for that reason. Like it's so hard to say, like, you know, if I come into your house and remodel your bathroom, you may hate it and I may love it. And that's what creative is. Like, you're trying to capture the vision of these people and these companies and tell their story and really start to, you know, showcase them in the best light. But then, you know, if you're also not in control of the traffic and you're also not in control of the data and not in control of the measurement, I mean, that's why Tier 11's here. It's to develop our conversion engine metrics to all be synergistic around actually having that to be delivered.
Lauren, did you have a take on John's perspective of the algorithms taking over, who sees what creative?
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, like to John's point, I think the biggest thing, especially now with creative agencies, is that you have to make sure that not only are you doing the creative, but you also need to have access to the data. Because again, like, yes, I'm giving you this creative, but if I'm just handing it off to, you know, let's say a media buyer or someone else, and I don't know where it's going, then again, it's like, I don't know where, like, you can't come back, I guess, and blame me when it's like, I don't necessarily know how things are being added to the account or where they're being added or who's seeing it. So I think, again, like, traffic and creative have to be so synergistic together that, you know, making sure that your creative teams are very much a part of where things are being placed and how they're being placed and who's seeing it is obviously super important. So, like, again, to John's point, like, making sure that it's all synergistic and the creative team knows what's going on is ultimately going to make, you know, the creative side much easier, especially when it comes to the data and where the algorithm wants to place things in the platform. So that was it. That was the only thing I was going to say, really.
No, I mean, that's great. And that's the whole point, right? Breaking down the silos between the different departments, because, you know, it's not traffic, it's not creative, it's marketing. And all these different pieces have to work together in a variety of different ways, depending on what the brand needs at the time, or what, creative has to adapt to what traffic needs, and traffic has to change based on the creative that's coming in. So it's really interesting that we have both of you guys here to kind of bridge that gap between the two. I mean, you guys are basically the experts on both of these in the industry. So we got the best of the best.